There was a public school in Texas that had a very, very rambunctious class. Every year, whoever was teaching the fifth graders, the students that arrived in fifth grade, would come January, the teacher would quit. Just couldn't handle the students. Finally, a substitute teacher comes in, and as many of us know from our own times in school, substitutes were often treated with more disdain or with greater disdain than even the initial teacher. So this particular substitute had an excellent idea. She said to herself, I'm going to study up on these students. I'm going to prepare myself so that I may succeed where everybody else failed. She went into their files, she looked carefully, and she discerned that they had very high IQs. One of them had an IQ of 164, another one an IQ of 170, another one an IQ of 174, and one of them even had an IQ of 180, which is a very, very high IQ, reportedly the IQ of Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu of the state of Israel. So armed with this knowledge that these students, in fact, although rambunctious, had a very high intellectual acumen, she went into the class, she invested in the students, and lo and behold, came June, and the principal wanted to award her with the Teacher of the Year, since she had such success where all of her predecessors had fallen short, where they had failed. And the principal said to her, Madame, I don't understand how you did it. She said it was rather simple. I looked in their files, I saw they had very high IQs, I invested in them accordingly, and we saw success. Principal says, I don't believe that. I need to see for myself. He goes into the office, he opens up their files, he looks carefully, he comes back, he says, Madame, those weren't their IQ numbers, those were their locker numbers. I love this story, it's a cute story, because it shows that many times our perspective on events, our perspective on the world, can impact the way that things play out. Our perception can often become our reality. One more similar anecdote, just to bring this point to the fore. Rabbi Yehonasan Eybeschutz, a great Rav, lived in the 17th century. He's once walking on European soil, traversing the terrain in which he lived, and the Paritz, the non-Jewish governor, stops him in his tracks, and he says, where are you going? And he says, I don't know. And Rabbi Eybeschutz gets in big, big trouble. The Paritz, the non-Jewish governor, throws him into prison for such a chutzpahdik response that he has no idea where he's going. A number of days pass by, and the Paritz comes to visit Rav Yehonasan in prison. He says to him, I don't understand. They call you the wise man of the Jews. I asked you a simple question. Where are you going? Where are you heading? And you tell me you have no idea? So Rabbi Yehonasan said like this. He said, I thought I was heading to the Beis Medrash, like we are here. I thought I was heading to the study hall. I ended up in prison. I obviously had no idea where I was going. And I think a lot of times we can find miracles, we can find insight, we can find transformative experiences amongst people that we don't always expect. There are very special people embedded amongst us, within the Jewish people, within the world at large, and they can create miracles. They can create miracles in our lives. They can transform our life experience by our interaction with them. But we have to have the perspective. We have to understand what we're looking at, and we have to adjust our attitude to be able to ideally grow and glean insight from each and every one of them.